Welcome back, guys, to your Kentucky X-Files. What the fuck was that?
I don't know. I was trying to make a different. I don't know. The bird's sick. He's got a
Laryngitis.
Trying to come up with new and interesting bird calls is not easy. Takes a lot.
I understand.
Takes 25 hours of training every day. That's not true. That's not true at all. Did you guys hear that some of our new T-shirts are actually they're selling? Did you hear about that? T-shirts are moving. You guys out there, you're gonna want to get that T-shirt.
A T-shirt.
You never know when it's.
Oh, you want to get that T-shirt?
You're gonna want to get it. Gotta be quick. Gotta
get them while they're hot. Yep. Hot cakes.
Got several guys today wanting to make sure that we could get it in their size. Big fellas. You know what? We got you covered, big fellas, because we're big fellas. Yeah, pretty exciting. There's a lot of stuff going on. Yeah, check out that website. Yeah, pretty fun. So what we got going on, guys? I know we got a guest coming.
We got a guest, yeah. It's I'm excited. This is a
I think he's excited.
I know from the East Coast, and he's got some pretty cool stories from over on the Carolina coast. I don't want to divulge too much. I'd let him tell his story.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if you guys are like avid listeners of the show, this is some of the story. This is the guy. This is from the what's that saying? From the bull's mouth? No, that's not the right saying.
It's from the horse's mouth.
Horse's mouth. That's what it was.
Close.
I thought
yeah.
I was close. It was an animal. This is a story of like when we first talked to Gibbs, when he was just a guest.
So
the Seneca Guns.
I don't know if he realizes that
he's already been on the show.
He's technically been on the show. The Seneca Gun stuff, though, I physically heard but did not know what it was. He was the one that explained it to me.
Oh, okay.
This is I rented a vacation rental from his mom out there, and me and the family spent a week, and we're good friends. Met on a job site, became fast buddies. Keep in contact. It was cool because I wanted to go hang out with him because I hadn't seen him in a few years. So it was like a double win,
Yeah.
But after I kind of explained to him the stuff I heard, he started kind of opening up and telling me more stuff. So, he's had some things he's seen. His family's seen some things. I don't know how to phrase it correctly, but he's I believe actually has a registered UFO sighting. It's reported.
Oh, hell yeah. Cool.
Yeah. So he's got some videos and stuff he wants to share with us. Some links that he's got put in so we can share them. I think it's gonna be a good time.
Oh man, I'm excited. I've been really excited for this. I know scheduling's been a little rough trying to meet, link up. It usually is.
Yeah. He's a very busy fella, so I'm excited.
Yeah. So that's awesome.
This is hard. It was a long time coming.
I know he's standing by, right? Is he's pretty much good to go? Okay.
I believe he is ready to rock.
Before I pull him in real quick, quick shout out. I wanted to shout out to Paranormal World Productions for inviting us over to the what was that? It was the very first live they did over there.
Yeah, it was the first live for, I think it was Sasquatch Odyssey side.
Yeah. Very first live they did. It was like a panel where they were discussing, this whole fort. What is it called? It was like the Fort something. Is it Lewis? I always get this wrong.
I can't remember. Yeah, it's some military
Lewis.
base.
Yeah, it was like Fort
in
Lewis,
Washington,
where the Sasquatch gets killed and the soldiers, and all that. And we got to be a little part of it. Not much of a part of it, but a little.
I missed that. Sorry, I missed it.
Yeah, we didn't know that we were going to be there.
Right. I thought it was
Yeah.
just going to be hanging out in the chat sections,
That's
like we did last time.
dead honest. That's what I thought we were going to be doing. And then it was like, Brian's like, hey, jump in here. And we're like, oh my God. Okay, let's do it. Let's go. Batman called us, we got to go.
Right.
So a lot of fun. Got to meet some interesting people. That was pretty neat. And, yeah, just wanted to make sure that was out there, get a little shout out over there. That was pretty fun. You can check out that video on Paranormal World's YouTube channel. I think it's up there now. But yeah, without further ado, let's get Jake in here. I'm ready, man. I'm excited.
Same here.
So I'm gonna get him in here right now. Here we go. Bear with me, folks. You guys watching this video, you're gonna see me, doing what I can to add him to this, and probably fail miserably while I do it. But that's okay. We'll edit all this out. Not gonna edit shit.
It's going to be like a thing down the road. If we ever make it famous, people are going to be like, oh, you really pulled a KYX Files there, didn't you?
Yeah. All right. So let me add a nickname here. There we go.
I love his thumbnail.
Yeah. I think he's added, but I think he has to accept on his end. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm sending him a message right now.
All right. The funny thing is usually this is the kind of stuff I actually would edit, but I'm probably not gonna. So there's no point in even kidding ourselves.
He accepted. All right.
Oh, he did? Okay.
Yep. He's in the group. I see him.
Okay. I don't see him, but
I see the thumbnail for him down here.
okay. So I think he has to join the
Join
call.
the call.
Yeah. So how do we do that, I wonder?
He probably has to do it from his end.
Let's see here. Yeah.
This is a good test run. There he is.
I think we figured it out. There he is.
There's the man. Can you hear us?
Yeah, hold on. Let me see if I can get some more volume out of it.
Oh, he's loud and clear.
Yeah, I got you loud and clear.
Yeah.
Man, I got you guys real low, but it's all right.
We'll try to speak up.
Yeah, we'll try to get louder if we can.
What's going on, Jake?
How's it going, fellas?
It's good, man.
Well, good.
good.
Yeah.
It's nice to get to put a face to the man behind all the stories now.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah, we,
reputation
Can't believe
precedes
all
you.
of them.
We gave us a little brief intro, so that the viewers kind of have a backstory a little bit. And I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but my trip down to see you is the whole reason how I ended up on this show.
Is it really?
Yeah,
Yep.
because I came on as a guest to talk about the Seneca Guns.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that's how I ended up becoming a co-host. So it's kind of coming full circle because we're coming up on our 2-year anniversary as a show too.
Hell yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, man. I know like scheduling wise, it's been kind of tough to link up, but we've all been really excited to get you on here to talk to us, man, and tell us about some of your stuff, man.
Well,
I'm
hopefully
excited.
it's not a letdown.
Nah, man, we love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're hungry for experiences and stories, man.
Yeah. I didn't tell them too much of the story. I just kind of said that you had some interesting experiences. I said that you had a reported UFO sighting and some of the light stuff that may have happened off the coast of the Carolinas. So, I mean, the floor is yours, babe. However you want to take off with it.
Actually, before I joined the call, I was trying to get some links to send y'all some videos. I don't know how that works on your YouTube or not, but if you can show any of these videos or if you can at least watch them yourselves.
Yeah, we'd rather just show it. We don't care if we We don't care what YouTube does to us.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, we're done with caring about YouTube.
Yeah, they can either jump on with us or not. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So it's kind of interesting the stuff that we found or experienced down here. I wasn't the first one to experience it, actually. My mom moved down here before my wife and I did. And yeah, send these later because it's just not working right now. But she moved down here and has a house on the beach in Surf City. And she had some friends down with her. They were just doing, a friend's vacation and checking out her new house down here. And they were on the porch looking out over the ocean. And there was a group of 4 orange lights or orbs, however you want to describe it. They look like just giant orange circles that were sitting out over the ocean. At distance and at night, it's kind of hard to tell how high they were, but
Yeah.
assume they looked like they were maybe 500 feet or so off the water. Real dark, clear night, and they appeared. They didn't blink. They didn't, kind of fade in or out. They were just there. And then they would hover and just chill there. The lights would disappear. And then about 30 seconds to a minute later, they would appear in a different area and like they had broken off. So it started out like, if you can imagine, a dice, the 4 side of the dice, the square
Yeah.
with the 4 dots. So it started like that. And then when they went away, all the lights went out. It broke off and it was just 2 dots randomly in the horizon. And then they stayed for another couple minutes, went dark, and then they appeared in different areas. And what's weird about it is that on top of the fact that there's just these random orange orbs moving around, they tried to take pictures of it with their phones. And my mom tried to use that, like the Skywatch or the Night Watch app to, see satellites and constellations and whatnot. And none of their phones would actually work. They all had the loading wheel of death.
No kidding. So,
Yes.
I mean, was that a suspicion? Was that like these are interfering with this, or?
That was the general consensus because when it started, they were out on the porch hanging out. Somebody had music playing on their phone on, a Bluetooth speaker.
Yeah.
And the music stopped, but they said they didn't notice the music had stopped because they were paying attention and everybody was talking like, oh, look at these lights, look at that, what is that? And the music stopped. And then when they tried to take pictures of it or video, and my mom tried to open the that Skyview app or whatever it is for iPhone, the phones wouldn't work. The screens had light, so they actually had power, but trying to open an app, you could try and switch through and open an app and it just wouldn't open. It would just spin.
Oh, shit. And that was everybody? Like everybody was having that?
It was all 4 of them.
Holy
Yeah.
shit. So that had to be kind of a wild feeling. I mean,
yeah, nobody knew what was going on and everybody was just kind of in awe of it. And it went on for about 8 minutes or so, they said. And then the lights disappeared. And after a couple minutes of the lights not coming back, their phones all worked.
no shit.
Yeah.
That's some wild shit.
Dude,
Super odd. Super odd. So, I'm an X-Files fan at heart. So, I want to believe, I do.
Yep.
But I also am skeptical about a lot of things. So, when she told me that, and I was like, all right, it's my mom telling me, I'll give her the benefit of the doubt and then talk to her friends independently. They'd come around for holiday parties and stuff. And I mean, they all said the same thing. It was eerie how similar, they all remembered the story exactly.
Right.
So, that was 2 years before we moved down here, my wife and I. And then when we moved down, it was my wife's cousin and her husband came down and did a week vacation with us here.
Yeah.
And we were sitting on the same porch in July of that year. And we were all sitting outside. We were playing a board game, just passing the time, hanging out. And Casey and myself were sitting with our backs to kind of like I am now to the house, looking out over the ocean. And man, 4 lights appeared. And it did the exact same crap.
So, do you remember the video you sent me a while back? I believe it was the Outer Banks fisherman, where he's got the surf pole and the 4 lights appear.
Yes, I do.
I actually sent that to our Discord chat before you got on, and was like, "This is something he's going to talk about," so that they could see what you're talking about.
You have to ignore the IPA meme right there. I'm down to IPAs at the house, and I couldn't help myself.
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, I love that video too. We were cracking a little joke about it because I totally relate to the fisherman side of that video. It's like this weird shit is going on in the sky, but he's still like, man, I really do hope I catch a fish. Like, I could totally get behind that. Like, there's UFOs, and that's cool, but I've already got my line out, my bait, everything's good. He probably had a beer cracked. He's comfortable,
Yeah, I get it. I don't blame the man at all. Not one bit. So I just dropped another one of the videos. I've got a couple videos that I have found that I've been saving for this, so that I can. Josh, obviously, and now you guys are not the only people that I've talked to about this. So I've made a playlist of videos that I have found just so that I can show people, like, this is what I'm talking about if it doesn't make sense when I'm describing it.
Yeah.
So I've dropped. I'm getting ready to drop a second one in the chat.
I'm watching the video, but I don't have it I have it set up to kind of it's recording like us right now, us 4 talking. But I'm actually watching the video as you talk. I got the sound muted so I could hear you guys instead.
Wow.
It's pretty wild.
Those lights, man. That is...
It's an incredible thing to see.
Right. And this isn't like... Wow. Okay, yeah, like at the 47-second mark of that first one. That's intense, man. Because it's not like... it's so sporadic. They're not like in a perfect line. It's not like it's part like on the side of a ship and we're not seeing it in the horizon and it's coming up and down.
Yeah.
No. So Casey, the guy who was sitting facing the water with me when we first saw it, my wife and his wife were out there with us as well. But he was in the Army, and his MOS was artillery. So his first thought was, I wonder if there's military exercises going on and those are flares. Like, okay, I'll buy into that for a second. But then it was, he's like, well, they're not moving. They're not, flares don't stay stationary. They fall.
Right. It's a gradual fall.
Yeah. But they fall. You can see them, and they burn out.
Right. Yeah.
They didn't fall. They just hung out, and then they all of a sudden just kind of blinked out, and okay, they're gone. And then sure enough, they came back, but they were in a different area and a different pattern. Like, it's not like you were saying. It's not something like, there are multiple navigational lights on a plane, but you can tell, they're in a formation, they're in a line, and they always, that's not what these are doing. It's super weird, real odd to see. And we watched it for a solid 10 minutes, and then it was like they were there and then they were gone.
I think when I first looked at them, I know the idea of flares did go through my head, but it was the delivery in which they appear. You know what I mean? Every time I've seen flares, they always come into view rapidly, and it's a,
Yeah.
It's not
And
like
it's
a.
bright.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
they have an aura around them, like it's a bright. They brighten up the sky around them.
Yeah.
These are just. It's almost like if you could have a laser pointer, and you were
Yeah.
pointing pointer at a wall.
Yeah.
It's just a dot. There's nothing around it. It's
Right.
it's weird. I don't have any other explanation other than it's weird.
So it's more of a focus light than like a burning light.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Because cameras don't pick it up exactly like the human eye sees it. Anybody that
No.
goes outside and take a picture of the moon can tell you
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. It's got
So-
a halo around it, or it's got a little
Right.
blur. But so when you look at the videos, because of the video and the distance, I think it does have that kind of shimmery,
Yeah.
flickering look. But it's not that. It's if you could look at a spotlight on your barn or on the
Right.
side of your house,
Right.
it's that light, and that's it.
Well, you're going to get a blink rate effect too from a video recorder of any
Mhm.
sort. Especially with like an LED, they strobe.
Right. So I don't know what it is. I have seen it now. We have seen it now twice.
Yeah.
And then my mom has seen it. I believe she's seen it twice now. I believe she's seen it a second time. I know that we've seen it twice, and she's at least seen it once. And we are not the only ones here who have seen it. We've talked to a lot of people who are on the coast, and they've seen them as well. And nobody has any idea what they are. You'll see in some of the comments, it's like, oh, well, you're in a military area. For
Yeah.
clarification, we're 20 miles from Camp Lejeune, Marine Corps Air Station Cherry Point. There is a lot of flight traffic for the military, but we all know what a military plane, military helicopter, we all know what those look like, what they sound like when they go over.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
They don't just sit.
and for people that have never been there, there is active chopper patrol of that beach
Yes.
all day.
All day, and usually up until just 11:59 at
Yeah.
night.
Yeah, there's usually two birds that go up the beach and back down the beach, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
then
not
go ahead.
only that, you have the ospreys that fly across
Yep.
the intercoast.
You've got the
So-
Osprey, you've got the Cobra Apache variant that the Marine Corps is using, and then you've got the Sea Stallion, the larger helicopter that you saw when you were down here. It looks bigger than a Black Hawk.
Yeah.
Not the attack version, but it's more of like a rescue or transport helicopter.
Yeah.
And then we've got F-35s down here as well.
Right. Stuff you're
and-
used to, though.
But it's stuff that we're used to.
You know what the sound of one of those are when you hear it. You know what the lights look like on those.
Okay.
Yeah, I can be in the house, and my wife and I are sitting in the house, and we can hear a aircraft in the distance. And after about 5 seconds, I can be like, all right, that's the attack helicopter, that's the Osprey. They have a very distinct sound, each one of them. And these lights, there's no sound associated with them.
Right.
So it's odd, to say the
that is-
least.
Yeah, that's incredibly odd.
That's
And,
pretty
you know,
wild, man.
Like if you and it's not just the air traffic you're used to. You're used to the ocean traffic too, right?
Oh, yeah.
There's not a lot of boats that come in super close, except for like fishing trawlers, right?
There are the fishing trawlers, the shrimp guys, and then there are the Asian recreational boaters.
Right.
But on the general time frame, during the year, there are not, other than those boats, there aren't any kind of barges or military ships that come close, running with the beach. Now
Right.
they do have military exercises a couple times a year, where there will be a destroyer type ship or a transport, like a landing craft type ship that is off the coast, and they will do beach landings. They will do amphibious assaults on the northern part of the island and the beach. It's called Onslow Beach, that is on Camp Lejeune. So that will happen occasionally, but those boats usually don't come as far south on the island as where we hang out in Surf City, which is essentially the middle of the island, which is right about where you stayed, Josh.
Yeah.
They are normally on the north end because the north end shares the inlet with New River, which goes into Camp Lejeune. So they normally stay on the north end.
Right.
They don't come down in view of us usually.
Makes sense.
And
So-
then there are the Coast Guard ships as well.
Right. But with all that being said, these are all things that, I mean, you're obviously well versed in what's there. You
Yes.
know, you're not going to mistake any of these for these lights.
No,
Yeah.
no. These are completely different. I don't have. There's no rhyme or reason or pattern to their movement. So it's not. You couldn't. If the light, say, it went behind a cloud or the light went out for whatever reason, a pilot turned the light out, which doesn't happen usually unless it's military doing something, military related. But you don't turn the light off. And oh, that was cool. Shooting star. Sorry, random. Space junk just fell. That's
Could you try again?
easy. See.
She's listening. They don't want us talking about
She
their
is.
space junk.
Right.
No, that's enough out of you. That's enough. So it's if you see a plane going across or a helicopter, you can predict the flight path. So
Right.
even if it goes behind a cloud or something obstructs the view of it, you can pretty much, all right, we've seen it move approximately this distance in the last 5 seconds.
No.
I can look at this part of the sky and know that it's going to show up in here in just a second. When these lights go out, you have no idea where they're going to come back to, or if they come back.
If you had to guess, I mean, just out of the blue guess, how much distance would you think between one position and the next one they pop up at?
So it really depends. It can be, again, at distance because we don't know how far away they are from us.
Yeah.
Trying to distance, but it could be a mile or two. Like we watched it. So we're a mile where we were at. We were a mile south of the pier in Surf
Yeah.
City.
So you think that just to guess a mile or two, or
At least, yeah. Because what we saw was they were basically directly right out in front of the house over the ocean. And then when the lights went out, then when they came back, when they had split, two of them were down past the pier, which is a mile from where we were at.
and how much time do you think went past?
At most a minute. Like they moved. Lights out and then lights back on.
Okay.
It's I don't know how they move. I don't know what they are. It's an interesting thing to watch because you're like, all right, I don't know how they got there. And then they can do elevation changes. Like they'll be directly out in front of you. The light will go out. And then instead of being, what looks to be 500 feet above the horizon, the next time they turn on, they're 10,000 feet. They've climbed. It's elevation change and, positional, horizontal positional changes.
Now, see,
So
that's pretty interesting because that's a hell of a climb.
Yes.
That's a hell of a vertical climb.
And there are aircraft that can do it, but they make a noise when they do it.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez,
So-
the numbers don't make any sense here. To be able to disappear and reappear, you would have to be going. I mean, you would literally have to be going like what, 3,700 miles per hour to make that kind of climb and distance. That's insanity.
Yeah, it's insane. I can't imagine the force it would take to make that kind of climb or to make that type of lateral movement that quickly.
I mean, yeah, if you jumped from 500 feet to 10,000 feet, your head would be in your butt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd compress down into whatever seat you're sitting in. It's just you're a part of it now.
Yeah, you would be jelly. You have to be,
To move that fast, you have just turned into a liquid form. How it works it's odd, man. It really is. And you can see in some of the videos,
That's
like,
32 G's.
Yeah. So there you go. I mean, damn.
Yeah, holy
right?
shit. It's 32 G's. Like, how would you even...
What's the space shuttle give you?
I'll find out.
I'm surprised Jake doesn't know that off the top of his head, honestly.
I thought the space shuttle hit 19, but for a short period of time.
Yeah, like just that last little burst to get through the atmosphere.
I thought it was 19.
Let's see here.
I may be way off, but for some reason 19 is sticking out in my head.
I'm not seeing up to date here. I'm seeing like older shuttles that were hitting like 6 G's or so. Re-entry is always a bit more rough. You always experience a lot more G-force coming back in. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm looking for it.
Too.
It's not easy to find because like you have to find an accurate chart. Yeah, it's nuts.
Let's see. So just a quick look on my phone. G-force of a rocket launch is limited by the cargo it's carrying. Most manned missions are limited to what the humans can endure. Looks like, okay, so it's 9 Gs is the most before humans black out. Okay. Astronauts experience a maximum of between 3 and 9 Gs.
Okay. I wonder if that's why I kept getting an average mean of 6 Gs when I kept looking here.
Yeah, what I got here is 10 Gs can lead to permanent injury or even death.
Yeah, so if you've ever seen any of those old test pilot footage of the centrifugal chamber, and the guys peel their face back, most of them tap out before they hit 9. So
yeah, I would imagine so.
The vomit comet.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, that's past hypersonic.
Yeah. I mean,
and that's are we even in hypersonic flight yet? Are we at full blown just theorizing hypersonic? I know we're in supersonic.
I don't know that anything's hit hypersonic. Because it's what, 1.2?
Yeah. It's like Mach 5.
Well, if it's Mach 5, what was the SR-71?
Lockheed X-17 is a hypersonic aircraft.
Okay. That's Mach 5. Supersonic would be a Mach 1.
What was the designation, though?
What is it?
You said it was something 17?
It says hypersonic aircraft X-17.
Okay, so the designator for experimental.
Yeah, and then X-43. Yeah, they're all experimental. I will say this, though, on a side note, is they look cool as shit.
Yeah.
Like, they are really cool looking. But, I mean, they kind of have to be, right?
Yeah. It's 2022, and if you're claiming hypersonic, you better look cool.
Yeah, you better look good. Even if you don't quite get there, you better look good trying.
That's right.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. So it's like
the SR-71 Blackbird was 3.4.
3.4.
Yeah. It actually can outrun bullets. That's something crazy I wasn't aware of.
That's badass.
Right? Like that's like a great thing for a plane to be able to do.
The SR-71 was developed and pushed out because the U-2 was shot down because it was hit with a flying tree trunk of a SAM missile.
Holy shit.
It wasn't able to outrun a SAM, so that's why they started pushing the SR-71 out. The ceiling on a SAM missile was able to reach the ceiling of the U-2, and it was shot down over Russia.
Gotcha.
Oh, I see. Okay, so the reason, one of the big barriers of hypersonic flight is that we have no way of combating the heat.
That makes sense.
That the air friction causes extreme heat, and even something beyond Mach 5, it says here, can reach 1,000 degrees, well, 1,800 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know what the conversion to canoes that is, but we will get on that. These high temperatures cannot be sustained by most materials. So I guess anything light enough to use to build one of these is probably not going to be able to withstand this kind of heat.
I know that they were having issues. That was one of the common issues with the space shuttle, was the heat shielding.
Yeah. That's actually what caused the Challenger crash, wasn't it?
That was a faulty O-ring on the Challenger.
Oh, okay. One of them, the tiles fell off and it caused it to burn up, wasn't it?
Discovery or Columbia?
Discovery, I think.
It was one of those two. It was the one that fell apart over Texas on reentry.
Yeah.
Because of a heat shield.
Damn, yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting thing that you brought up the O-ring fail. You know what I mean? Yeah, an O-ring.
Yeah.
You know,
It was a 37-cent part, I believe.
Yeah. And what is that? I mean, just that. Okay, so we're just riffing about that. So think about what that means for a machine that would be able to do 37,000 miles an hour.
Yeah. I would hope that in the planning room they would be like, "Hey, let's try to not need O-rings, fellas. What do you think?
Right.
Let's do what we can to just kind of, find an alternative to that one, okay? Sounds good."
No cotter pins, no O-rings.
All lock nuts, okay? No wing nuts, fellas. Okay, get them out.
Yeah,
We don't want stuff that's going to vibrate.
The O-ring failure was actually because of the cold temperatures the day before and the morning of the launch. The O-rings were susceptible to damage at low temperature, and it was an extraordinarily low temp for that part of Florida. And it had been brought up as a concern, and they said, "Oh, well, it won't ever be an issue." And then that temperature hit, and the next day they had that issue that they said it would never be. So hopefully we've moved past the needing of a rubber O-ring for anything.
Yeah.
I guess we'll listen to old Tom there when he brings up a concern.
No kidding. I don't know, man. I know it's a work in progress for us to push further into progress this far, but we're still, even with all of this, like, talk and whatnot, and the implemented sciences and the proposed sciences, we're here, and 37,000 miles per hour is over here, and there's a major gap that I don't believe humans are able to do just yet.
Okay, so for like the people that don't know, Mach 3.4 is like 2,200 miles per hour.
Yeah.
That's okay. 2,200 versus 37,000.
Yeah.
I'm not quick enough with the math. That's a huge percentage of increase. Like what, 4,000 increase or something?
The problem with 37,000 miles per hour is that in physics, you're not just talking movement anymore. And that's where science fiction has to kind of step in and, unfortunately rear its ugly head. Is now you're in the realm of, I'm moving faster than the goddamn planet does. And if I can move faster than the planet does, well, I'm manipulating more than just physics. Now I'm bending time and space.
Well, I mean, what's the circumference at the equator?
Yeah.
7,000 miles per hour. How fast are you circling this thing?
Yeah.
Right.
And what are you going to do at that speed? You're not going to be able to see anything.
Right.
Right. Right. That might be why they stop and hover.
Yeah. They need to actually, A, get blood back into their brain, and then B, take some photos.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So, like, one thing that we seem to have a recurring thing that shows up on the show is that a lot of everything that we hear about usually happens around water. Do you have any theories as to if you were to hypothesize, forgetting what those things are, what might they be doing hanging out over the water?
Man, what was it the dolphin said? Thanks for the fish.
So long. Thanks
Yeah,
for all the fish.
yeah. Uh, I- we are one of the few planets that has a liquid water source. Um, obviously, a lot of the sci-fi movies are, they're coming here to take water for whatever their purpose may be.
Yeah.
Um, that's always usually one of the standard tropes. But I mean, you can look at the released footage, thanks to Tom DeLonge from the U.S. Navy and the Chilean Navy, and I think somebody else released footage as well of the cigar and
Yeah.
the orb that they were chasing with F-18s.
Yeah.
It's again, Navy water, it's all around, so it's interesting to think why they might be looking at the water or hanging out around the water.
No.
But the other thing is we have especially, I mean, on both coasts, but there are more military installations on the East Coast, actually on the coast, than there are on the West. And is that playing a part in it? If it's, if it is ET coming home, I don't know. But
Right.
a lot of the oddities, much like the ones that are, over Arizona and Nevada, it's like, oh, well, it's, that's test flights out of Area 51. A lot of people, because either they're not, and again, I'm not saying it's aliens or anything else, but I don't know what it is. But I'm not willing to just chalk it up as, oh, well, we live near the military, so that's clearly what it is.
Yeah.
Until I have proof of what it is, I can't say.
Right.
So I don't know. We have a lot of military installations here. There are submarine testing facilities off the coast here. There are 13 military installations off the coast of North Carolina alone. There's just a lot here. I don't know.
I
So
know.
I wonder
Okay,
if, like,
gotcha.
maybe the military radar or sonar or whatever stuff they're using, maybe that's attracting whatever it is.
Yeah, I mean, and that's just the stuff that they're using that we know about. Obviously there's classified technologies that they're using for spying, and for enemy detection and threat detection. That could be a part of it. You also, if you look at the release footage and documents that have come out over the last couple of years, a lot of the events that are taking place that have been recorded over water are happening near the military fleets. They're on maneuvers in the middle of the ocean. There's nothing out there except 3 or 4 floating cities of military boats, and lo and behold, here comes a low speed pass of a whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Right.